Welcome again to Ham Radio Perspectives. I'm Quin, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
Tom, we've been getting a lot of comments from people about cheap rigs, particularly new people to the ham hobby, and they're looking for HF rigs that are inexpensive. And some of them wonder, about Chinese rigs, and we've done something on that. But we thought this time what we would do is offer our suggestions for 5 inexpensive used HF transceivers that you see at almost every hamfest. You can easily buy them online from people, or even go to eBay if you want to do that. So they're pretty widely available, one a little less than the other 5, and we'll explain why. But we think these are rigs that are proven. And so if you're new to the hobby and you're looking for an inexpensive HF transceiver, consider one of these 5, and then we'll ask all of you who are viewers to post other suggestions of other rigs as well. The 2 things that we most wanted to make sure we had with these is that they're not so old that they lack the work bands, the newer bands like 17 meters and all. So they had to have work bands, and we wanted them to be solid state. We didn't want to encourage, especially new people to the hobby, to go and get old tube rigs and then try to get the tubes and all of that. So those are the 2 things, and we came up with 5 of them. What's number 1, Tom?
Okay, number 1 on my list is the Kenwood TS-440S. And this is a legendary, it's a very robust workhorse in the amateur radio community. It features absolutely no menus, offering straightforward tactile controls that let you adjust settings on the fly. It's highly frequency stable. I've got one, I've used it all the time on digital, and it hangs right in there. It delivers good power output at a reliable 100 watts, and I've seen over 120 watts. And you can pick these up in good condition for around $250 to $300. Of course, you're going to have to also invest in a 20, 30 amp DC power supply for these, because they don't have an inboard power supply on them, and you don't just plug it in the wall.
Right. Go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead. And number 2.
Go ahead.
And number 2 on my recommendation list would be the forerunner to the 440S, is the Kenwood TS-430S, which is essentially the same radio minus a few of the upgrades. It's another outstanding analog rig. Like the 440, it has no complicated digital interfaces in favor of simple, intuitive knobs, switches. It's incredibly durable, and it also provides a solid 100 watts. And it's just right in that sweet budget spot of, again, $250 to $300 on the used market.
Amazing, Tom. I just saw one of these at a hamfest for $200.
Yeah.
And that's a deal. Now, some of them are a little rugged looking. Maybe they've been used mobile and so on, and you look at it and make sure it's in good condition and the person can vouch for it. But I agree with both of those picks. And now we get to the third one, which I kind of foisted on Tom, because I wanted to include one for those who might be interested in CW, continuous wave, because some of these older transceivers are not very good on CW, particularly with the break-in king and all. So I'm suggesting here the Ten-Tec Omni VI, the Ten-Tec Omni VI. So Ten-Tec has been renowned for the quality of its receivers, especially for CW operators, and for the quality of the break-in, that instant break-in, full break-in, boy, it's like you can hear the other station in between your dits and das. Now, there's no factory support, direct factory support for the old Ten-Tecs now. Ten-Tec went out of business, but the used market is robust with these high-quality American-made transceivers. Again, they have that fantastic break-in for CW, excellent selectivity on this rig. They're a joy to operate. They're easy to operate when you want to dig out deep signals. They have a low noise level and so on. The one problem with the Ten-Tec Omni VI, which I had with mine, I love the rig, but on receive that audio can be kind of tinny. And so there's a simple modification that you can find that you could get somebody to make for you that I made on mine to improve the audio on receive so it's not quite so tinny. That's the one downside about getting parts for these. Like anything else, you find people selling them for parts,
Right.
if you need to go that direction. So you can always have a backup that you might get real cheaply, like $100 just for the parts in case you need them. So that's my pushing Tom here on number 3, one for CW. But if you've got a better idea for one for CW, let us know.
Okay. And my pick for number 4 would be the Yaesu FT-840. And it's also known as an excellent entry-level high-frequency rig. And it was made in the 1990s. It's highly praised today for its compact footprint and its pretty bulletproof reliability. And it lacks the complex layered menus of modern Yaesu rigs, making it a classic turn-on and tune radio. Covers all the HF bands and typically fetches between $300 to $400.
Yeah, that's what we see them for. And you can't go wrong if you find one in good shape. Although we will say that a lot of people never sell these. They keep them as backup. And sometimes they have a couple of them that they don't use, but maybe they drag out once a year. So number 5, I love this rig, Tom. It was one of my favorite easy early transceivers, solid state work bands and all to use. And that's the Icom IC-735. One of the most popular compact HF rigs of its era. And again, it's famous for its excellent receiver design, its unique slide pot controls. So these controls going up and down. Now, let me say with mine, I had some issues and I had to get in there with some deoxit or whatever I used. And I had to clean those things because they would get noisy and you'd hear the noise with your headphones on as you're trying to work things. So that's one downside, but it covers all the HF bands, 100 watts again of output. It can often be scooped up for around $300. A lot of them were sold, so a lot of them are out there if you can find one. It's a fantastic primary station or reliable backup if you want to look at it that way. If you're on a tight budget, the Icom 735. So these are 5 rigs. But some of you out there maybe think you have a better idea, especially replace mine for CW. Let us know. But this is what we're encouraging newbies on HF. Pick up one of these. Yes, you can go out and buy a new Chinese rig. But if you're going to do that, do some research on it because not all of the Chinese rigs coming out are reliable. Some of them are. We'd have to do a separate video on that to kind of clear the air on that. You can do that. But you're not going to get a real inexpensive new one from the Japanese makers for what you can buy one of these for now. And you're probably going to be very, very pleased with it. So this is Ham Radio Perspectives. I'm Quin, K8QS.
I'm Tom, WA9TDD.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're trying to do to help the ham community. 7-3.